What's up, FA Nation? It's time for another edition of Thursday Night Football Preview. We have at least one more Thursday night after this, and then I guess we're winding down. Welcome to the playoffs, FA Nation. And if for any reason you're not in the playoffs, don't worry, we're still here for you. We're going to help you learn how to do player props, DFS, any questions you have, we're here. I'm Jim Piacenti, joined by none other than our NFL expert ranker, Adam Ronis. Adam, how's it going? I'm assuming you're going to the playoffs everywhere. You're making big decisions. You're helping us make big decisions. How's your week?
It's pretty good. There are some leagues where I did miss the playoffs, which is very disappointing, but do have some buys, so it's always nice to have that bye week. I think when you have the bye week, though, you just cross your fingers that none of you guys get hurt. And at the same time, you don't want them to have a huge game. Like, do you want a guy on bye to have 35 points? Because next week, it's probably not going to be duplicated. So you kind of just want your guys on bye, unless you have them also in other leagues where you're playing, just to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, there's a few guys I have across leagues, but like on the leagues I'm in bye, I don't really want to see them go off this week. I don't want to see it. I want them to save it for me. So Russ, if you're listening, you can wait another week to cook.
He's been taking a few weeks off anyway.
That's what I'm thinking. He owes me. He owes me back pay. Russ, you owe me back pay, please. Dial up, say your prayers. All right, so let's go ahead and preview this Thursday night football game. So rematch of the Super Bowl we saw in January 2019, which was just roaringly exciting with a total offense of 16 points. 16 points. I actually saw a bet you can take for no touchdowns to be scored in this game. That was 10,000 to 1. I thought maybe I would put $10 on that. What do you think?
Yeah, you could.
10,000 to 1. What do you got to lose? $10.
I think there will be touchdowns. I know everyone is looking at this game as one that could be low scoring, and because of that, the total is dropped. And I think it's dropped too much now where I really don't want to take the under. I think it's gotten too low. I think it's 43.5 on DK Sportsbook. I think, and the line too is dropped. It's 4.5 right now. Rams are favored because I think it's the Bill Belichick factor. We've seen this team be an underdog and win straight up a couple times recently. I don't know how they were underdogs to the Chargers. That was like the stupidest line in the world. Like, you're giving me Bill Belichick versus Anthony Lynn. It's an easy decision. I don't even need to see anything else. Simply just take Belichick. They were underdogs and beat Arizona. So I think the Rams are just a better team. I mean, it's pretty clear, but you still have the Belichick factor on the other side. And I think what's happened with the Patriots, it's taken them some time to get better because Belichick didn't have a preseason. He lost a lot of guys on the defensive side who elected to sit out. So they've gotten better as the season goes along. But I think the Rams are a better team. They're very good defensively. So I like the Rams to win this game tonight.
So let's talk about some things that are probably going to come up a lot in the questions. First of all, defenses for both teams very strong, but Rams run defense especially strong. I believe it is the second best in the league. So that makes me wonder overall, because they are so good at stopping the run, are we going to see less running even from Cam?
I think Cam is always going to run. That's just part of his game. I mean, this is probably the lowest I've had Cam ranked in weeks. Like, I would not start him. We've already seen Cam Newton struggle to throw the ball most of the year, and he's very reliant on the ground and scoring rushing touchdowns. And it's worked most of the year. I think it was 11 rushing touchdowns now, but you can't count on it in this spot. And he's only going to throw a lot if they're playing from behind. So Cam Newton's not a good start this week in fantasy. I would look everywhere else. Same thing with Jared Goff. I think McVay is going to try and do what he can to limit Goff's mistakes. We've seen that a lot of times this year, even though he does have some 300 passing yard games. And as far as the Patriots running backs, I mean, look, Damian Harris is good, but he's very game script dependent. We saw Sony Michel come back last week, played 33% of the snaps, although a lot of those were late in the game when it was out of hand. And you got James White in the picture. So I don't feel good about any of those. I'm not starting anyone on the Patriots side tonight. I mean, I've been a big Kobe Myers guy, and I have him on teams, and I've used them this year. But I mean, he could have a good game if they're playing from behind, but it's risky. I don't have him as a top 40 receiver this week.
Yeah, I can see that. So then the other question I'm going to have to ask you has to do with Cam Akers. So we've seen Cam Akers get more and more work each week. We want to believe in Cam Akers. If it's true that McVay is going to limit Goff's mistakes, and that says to me maybe they're going to put the ball in the hands of the running backs. Do we trust Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, or Malcolm Brown? And what is your level of confidence in them?
I want to have confidence in Akers. I really do, but I can't completely buy in because I could see McVay going back to Henderson. Henderson, I think, only had 3 carries last week. He did have an injury, left the game, did come back. He's been banged up for a few weeks, played through it. Is he ready to go back to Akers, who was on the injury report with a shoulder, but he's good to go, and short week. We all see that Akers is the best back. I mean, we've been talking about this since the preseason. I mean, Akers was a guy that I liked. Drafted him anywhere from rounds 5 to 7. And I do have him on several teams, and I've held on to him in all of them because I play in a lot of deep formats. So I know there were other people out there, 4 or 5 bench spots. COVID, you had to drop them. I understand that. But most of my leagues have 8, 9, 10 bench spots. So I've held on all year. I want to start him, and I thought after last week I'd be confident, but I still have him as an RB2, which in some instances means you're going to play him. But I'm not convinced that we can go all in. I hope so. I really want to see him get 15 to 18 touches tonight, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's 12 for Akers, 10 for Henderson, 5 for Brown. So I think that's the risk that we run, and I know we're going to get a lot of questions on Akers.
We are.
So I think it really comes down to what you have. I wanted to really rank him pretty high this week, but as I went through the running back landscape, I'm like, I can't put him in the top 12. I just can't do it. Not yet. Maybe next week. If he comes out as a huge game this week, now 2 weeks in a row, sure. But I need to see another game where he really comes through.
So let me ask you this question. What receiver for the Rams are you trusting tonight? I think, you look at it and you think, oh, well, Stephon Gilmore must be on Cooper Kupp, but I think maybe not since he's in the slot. And would you trust either of those receivers if you're dealing with a flex spot over Cam Akers, or would you trust Cam Akers more due to what you think the game script might be?
I'm always a big fan of Robert Woods. And the thing with Woods is he's phenomenal after the catch, and they find a way to get the ball in his hand. So, yeah, he might see a little Gilmore on the outside, but Robert Woods to me is the guy that I'm plugging in there. So I have him slightly over Kupp. Kupp obviously has a good matchup in the slot as well. We always look, okay, who's Belichick going to take out?
Right.
I don't know if he's going to really focus on one guy tonight. So I'm okay with Woods or Kupp. I would play them both for the most part, have them both as wide receiver 2s.
Just reminded me that I have to make sure I have Woods in my lineup for GST. Yes, I do. Okay, good.
I also have him in GST, so.
Oh, well, you're in the other conference, obviously.
Yeah, so he's been big this year, and I'll continue to roll with him. And they also get him involved a little bit on some running plays and end around here or there. So, yeah, I'm starting both those guys.
I love it. All right. Let's get to some questions, shall we? I'm going to hop over to YouTube. Oh, boy. They are rolling in. Okay. Akers or Mike Davis at flex?
That I would go Akers. We got word today. We're not sure yet, but Matt Rule said he doesn't think Christian McCaffrey is going to play and he's going to monitor him. This is not the Mike Davis that we saw early in the year where it's like, oh, just lock him in. I mean, he's kind of really slowed down in a major way. Where for most of the year we were looking at him up, he's at RB1. But I don't feel that way anymore. I mean, we just really haven't seen him do much in a long time. The last game he played against Minnesota, 15 carries, 55 yards, and only 3 receptions for 24 yards. That's the thing, too. The receptions have really gone down. He had at least 8 receptions in 3 of the first 4 games he played. The most he's had since is 5. And he's just not doing much on the ground. So I would play Cam Akers over Mike Davis.
Okay, Cam Akers over Mike Davis. Now, I just want to say one thing, Robert, who asked this question. You said at flex, we want to, again, and we've hit on this probably every Thursday, but we're going to say it once again. Don't actually physically start Cam Akers in your flex. Please start him at your running back. Even if you're thinking of him as your flex, you need to leave that flex spot open. You can start any other running back there on Sunday, but in the time of COVID, you need as much flexibility as possible all the way up to Sunday morning, as we saw on, was it Monday Night Football, where at the last very second, Des Bryant got out of the game. Is that Monday, Tuesday? I don't remember what day. Tuesday. It was Tuesday. There are so many days of football. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Okay, so actually start him at running back and not in flex. That is a piece of advice we like to drop every Thursday. Full PPR, choose 2. Deontay Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, or DeAndre Swift. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Swift. I mean, look, you're gonna have to wait on Swift. He was limited in practice
Right.
again today, and I know there's some concern about what his workload would be, but this is a game that has a total of 55, and we've seen what Swift can do in this offense. So, and then Deontay and Woods is close. I'm gonna go Deontay. I'm gonna
Okay,
go.
so we're going Deontay and Swift, and if Swift
Yeah.
doesn't play, who's next?
It was Woods, and who was the other? Obviously, you can't
Cooks.
Woods.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I'm okay with Cook. So yeah, I'd
Yeah,
wait. I'd
so you
wait.
don't need to start Woods tonight is the most
I mean, look,
important
I like
thing
Woods a lot for sure,
here. Me too.
but Deontay Johnson, when he's healthy, he's getting a ton of targets. There probably should be points in that game. And whenever he makes it through a game, I know the targets are not deep targets. The Steelers' offense is not throwing deep, but I mean, Deontay Johnson's usually good for 7, 8 catches, 60, 70 yards, and could score a touchdown. So
Yeah.
I would go with him and Swift.
Mm-hmm. Bench one in a PPR: Gaskin, Swift, Kamara, Jefferson, Thielen, or DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my goodness, man. Are you kidding me? As of now, I would go Swift just because in case they do go back to that stupid early season workload. But that's just a ridiculous amount of guys to choose from.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Bobby. You're clearly in the playoffs for a reason. All right, hello. What do you think about Bird as a pay down for a FanDuel GPP?
I mean, yeah, you could do anything if you're just playing the showdown for tonight, sure. I mean, that's the thing. You just don't feel good. I don't feel good about many people on the Patriots side, but when you're playing this as game theory, you're looking to go in a different direction. You're trying to, all you need Bird to do really is catch a touchdown, or make one big play. So, yeah, I mean, there's just so many different ways to go in this. The problem is there's not many on the Patriots side. Like, where are you going on the Patriots side? Bird, Jacoby Myers, what else? They don't throw to the tight ends. I see Devin Asiasi is going to be active tonight, but they don't throw to the tight ends. So it's not a lot. I mean, the way you're probably going to go is on the Rams side of Van Jefferson, maybe, or
Josh Reynolds, maybe.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds, although he's kind of fell behind Van Jefferson last week as far as snaps and everything, one of the tight ends. But yeah, if you find that one Patriot that happens to make a play and score a touchdown, we have seen Cam go to Bird, and they worked together before in Carolina. So yeah, that's fine.
Standard League, start one. Cup, Patrick, Clark.
Chark. Okay. So
that must be Chark, right? Because I don't know who Clark is. It must be Chark. Cup, Patrick, or Chark?
I'm gonna go Cooper Kupp.
Okay, we're going Cooper Kupp. We're playing for a touchdown because it's a standard league. And would you start Patrick or Kupp on a different team?
Kupp.
All right, Kupp. Both answers. Pick two, please. Julio and Allen. I'm assuming it's Keenan Allen. Robinson. I'm assuming that's Allen Robinson and Lockett. So Julio, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, Tyler Lockett.
People they can only play two of that? I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
I'm going to go
Keenan Allen for sure.
Allen. And I'm going to go Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I guess you got to monitor Julio Jones. I don't think he practiced again today. So
if Julio plays, it's Julio. My only concern is that hammy, that it sometimes flares up randomly. But I mean, Julio and Allen would be the answer, but I'm a little nervous. So I'm going Allen Robinson. But I love Lockett as well. Great matchup.
Yeah, I mean, that's one you can wait till Sunday anyway. Keenan Allen's a lock for sure against Atlanta. That's going to be a really high-scoring game. So, lock Allen.
By the way, thank you, Adam, because I'm looking at these. Why does Vegas think it's not? It's weird to me. I think that's going to be a shootout. And by the way, in my DFS bargains video, I think that y'all should $5,700 from Matt Ryan on DraftKings. I don't feel that.
Yeah, I'm fine. I know he has not played well in a while, but if there's any game where you can get right, it should be this.
This is it. Yeah, and same for Justin Herbert.
That's 49.5. Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? I'm glad you agree with me, because as I was writing my stuff, I was like, I looked over and I was like, am I just crazy? But this screams shootout to me. You look at Atlanta allows on average 285 passing yards per game, and then they themselves pass for 270 yards per game. Like, Chargers let quarterbacks finish number 7 versus them over the course of the season. Atlanta versus number 1. It's weird. I don't know.
I think it's probably the recency bias of the Chargers not putting up any points last week, and also the Falcons' defense playing better. That's Raheem Morris took over, but I still think we're going to see points here.
I do too. All right, need 2 in a 1 point per completion, and negative 1 point for an incompletion. Okay. Stafford, Goff, Dalton, Alex Smith.
Needs 2.
Need 2.
Stafford and Smith. Dalton for me.
Stafford and Dalton for you?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I know Alex Smith.
I'm going to go Dalton and Smith because I think he's going to do those little tiny short checkdowns that might add up.
Yeah, I could see that. But this is a good matchup. I mean, the Bengals are just not good. And Dalton has the weapons. You know, he played pretty good. There were some receivers that were open that he missed. But I'm going to go Stafford Dalton. But Alex Smith in this format, you are right. You know, he's a high completion percentage guy, checks down a lot. He'll throw like 75 passes to McKissick, Logan Thomas, McLaurin. So it's not crazy. I'm going to go Dalton, though.
We agree on Stafford, though.
Yeah.
Same setup. Big Ben, Goff, Trubisky, Darnold.
Same setup?
Mm-hmm.
Big Ben, Goff, Trubisky, and who was the other one?
Darnold.
Oh, boy. Ben is in for sure.
I think it's Ben and Trubisky.
Trubisky completing passes, though?
Yeah, but versus Houston.
Yeah, I'll go Trubisky, too, but I don't feel good about it.
It's gross. I know, I don't like it, but you can't go Darnold, can you?
No. I mean, well, Denzel Mims is out due to a personal.
Right.
And Jamison Crowder was added to the injury report today with a calf issue.
I know. So you're going to get this question. If Rashad Perriman is available on the waiver wire, do you actually trust Rashad Perriman over someone like Tyler Boyd?
Trust is the wrong word, but comparing him to Boyd, it's close. I mean, I love Tyler Boyd. Right. But I'd probably go Boyd there against the Dallas defense.
Yep.
But Perriman, I'm a big Perriman fan, but if he's there by himself, I gotta think Seattle bounces back in a big way this week. It has to be at home.
But not too big. Russ can't cook too much, Adam. This is my bye week. Russ.
I will tell you this, though. The Jets are worse against the pass than the run. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Not good news. Thoughts on Kupp tonight? Will Belichick take him away? Do you want to say a few more words about Kupp and what we think about tonight? We think that we think he'll get some action, but it won't be a big night. That's kind of my feeling.
I think the spot to take advantage of New England is in the slot where Kupp is most of the time. So I think I'll have a fine game. I'm not worried about him. He's a wide receiver 2.
Okay. 1 for my flex and a half PPR. Barber, Mostert, Miles Sanders, T.Y. Hilton.
No, I don't hear anyone else on Barber. No. Who else?
Barber, Mostert, Miles Sanders, T.Y. Hilton, or Antonio Brown.
I need 2?
No, 1.
Oh, 1.
And a half point PPR.
I know it's tough to trust Sanders, but I'm going to hope that the read option helps him. I know it's a tough matchup, but he did say that he was looking forward to the read option. The problem with Mostert is, I want to say Mostert, but he also came out today and said that the high ankle injury is still a problem. It's going to be something that bothers him the rest of the year. And I really thought he would have a big game this past week. I took his over rushing prop and was only to see him get 9 carries and saw a lot of Jeff Wilson. I know T.Y. Hilton's played well and it's Vegas, but still hard to trust him. So as of today, I'll go Sanders.
Okay, I like that. I know Antonio Brown in that juicy matchup, Tampa Bay.
I do like Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I like him better, especially too. Mike Evans is on the injury report with a hamstring injury. So that's not a good thing coming off the bye. So that's why I see a lot of these questions that we say repeatedly. Like, this is one where you got to wait. I know you want us to give an answer now, and we'll do the best of our ability. But some of these questions where we still have a Friday practice report to go to, if you have no one involved in tonight, you have time. And remember, we have another live stream Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern with Jen and Howard Bender. So we can give you an answer now, but things can drastically change between now.
We'll also go over all the injury reports for Friday on tomorrow night's Alarm After Hours with myself and Justin Fensterman, so you can tune into that as well. But yeah, you do need a lot more information to make the best decision. So we'll give you the preliminary answers, but please be sure, especially in time of COVID, you're checking the news every day because every day makes a difference. 2 wide receivers in a flex full PPR: Godwin, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Lamb, Devontae Booker, Damian Harris, David Johnson. For me, it's Godwin, Robinson, and
It's 3.
Thomas.
It was 3.
2 wide receivers in a flex.
Okay, yeah, same 3 for me.
Okay. So we agree, Godwin, Thomas, and Robinson. Okay, pick 2. Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, James Conner, Damian Harris.
I'm going to go Conner and Dobbins.
Conner and Dobbins. Are receivers best for the captain spot on DK since it's PPR, or will you play any position in the captain?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, quarterbacks obviously are usually good depending on the quarterback, but they're going to be priced up. Like, I didn't play the showdown Tuesday, but right, Lamar Jackson was the guy to have, right? Even though he was expensive. Yeah, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be. Each slate is its own different puzzle. So there's no rule. It depends on salary. It also depends on who you think is going to be the high scorer, being a little bit different. So, yeah, you can go with the wide receiver in the captain spot.
I like what you thought about there, Darren. And one thing people may or may not realize is the difference between Draftkings and Fanduel. Think of Draftkings like a PPR league and think of Fanduel like a half-point PPR league. So you may prefer one format to the other based on how you're used to playing, because it may be easier for you to think the way you've been thinking all season if you play in one certain scoring system. But do remember there is that difference between the two. Think of Draftkings like PPR and Fanduel like half-point PPR. Okay, PPR need 2 and a flex: Akers, Sander, Gaskin, Jacobs. We don't know if Jacobs is playing, and it's likely he's not, right?
He was listed as limited today in practice, so that's a good sign. And then it was Gaskin and who?
Akers? Sanders and Akers.
Gaskin's in for me. This is a tough one because
I feel like you need to start Akers tonight because you need 3 altogether. And
3.
Yeah, I need 3 on scoring. Then if Jacobs doesn't go,
play Akers tonight for sure. Gaskin
play Akers tonight and then come back.
And then we can decide on if Jacobs goes, he's in over Sanders.
That's right. Who should I put in the captain slot on DK? Okay, Austin, that's a little cheating. Really, who do you think, Adam?
Let's see.
I don't really love anyone, to be honest. I'd probably I would put one of the quarterbacks there. It's probably the safest way to go.
I would go Kupp or Akers, I think.
Kupp, really?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, you could go Cam. I mean, people are down on him, and if Cam rushes for a touchdown, so he's a possibility. But yeah, for me, it'd be Kupp, Akers, or Woods, I think.
Okay. I'm jumping over to Facebook now, y'all, if you want to come over there for questions. So let's do it. Okay. John, if you're listening, my producer, John and Pemba, our producer, I'm again getting the thing where I'm only getting replies within the last 2 minutes. So I'll refresh this and see if I can fix that. But in the meantime, Akers, Dobbins, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I'm going to go Dobbins.
Okay. Full point PPR. Do I go with Hunt or James White? I would go Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. There are more questions here. Let me see if I can somehow get to them. I don't know why this happens to me. 2020, folks. I see that there are 15 questions here, and I'm seeing 4. Let me go to the fantasyalarm.com page. In the meantime, here we go. Half point PPR. Cam Akers, Antonio Brown, Fournette, Pittman, or Kuti. I guess you only get 1.
If it's 1 in this instance, I will go with Akers.
Akers over Kuti?
Yes.
All right. Do you take the chance for Jacobs to play on Sunday?
It depends what my options
depends on your options.
Yeah, if you have no one playing tonight, you can wait till Sunday because that means you have everyone on your roster open to you. So if you have to decide between Jacobs and someone tonight, I'd probably take the safe route and go tonight.
Probably.
But it also depends what your bench is. I mean, we already had some questions where they're loaded with
Akers.
players. And then there's
Akers
some
is his play for tonight. He just wrote in Akers or Jacobs.
And that if those are the only two options, then I'm going to go Akers tonight because we don't know if Jacobs is going to play.
They're going away so fast. They're disappearing the questions. Oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm sorry, y'all. Half point PPR need 2. Akers, Crowder, Hunt.
You got to play Akers there because, as I said earlier, Crowder popped up on the injury report today with a calf issue. So we don't know how serious it is. So I would play Akers and then decide on Sunday. I mean, it might be made for you. If Crowder's out, then you just play Kareem Hunt. But play Akers tonight in that situation.
Okay. Robert Tonyan or Logan Thomas?
Robert Tonyan. I'm taking a tight end, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is throwing a lot. I think he wants the MVP. When you saw it last week, they're at the 1 yard line and he kept throwing to Devontae Adams. So, and it's a high scoring game. It should be against Detroit. Although I wouldn't be surprised if that game's close. I looked last year, Detroit lost by 3-1 to Green Bay. And that line is kind of low. So I think Detroit's going to be competitive in this game. But yeah, I'm playing Tonyan this week. You know, I know Logan Thomas had a good game last week, but you got to go with Tonyan because Rodgers looks for him in the red zone. What has he scored a touchdown in 2 or 3 straight games now? So yeah, Tonyan.
Ty or Juju?
Oh boy, that's never thought we'd have this question. I'm leaning Juju. I know T.Y. Hilton's come on, and he always has his big game against Houston, and it's Vegas, but Juju still had 7 catches. I know it only went for 28 yards, but Pittsburgh throws the ball, and that should be a high-scoring game, so I will go Juju.
I cannot believe. Oh, here. I've got the questions. Ha. Here we go. PPR, need 2 wide receivers in a flex. Godwin, Jefferson, Ridley, Swift if he goes, or Mike Davis.
And how many was it?
2, and he needs 2 wide receivers in a flex. So we've got Godwin, Jefferson, Ridley, and then Swift and Mike Davis.
Man.
We think you should sit Mike Davis unless...
Absolutely. Davis is out. I don't see how you bench Jefferson right now.
I don't either.
I know Ridley hasn't been great lately. I think, he was banged up, but I play him. So it's Godwin or Swift. As of now, I'll say Godwin, but if we get a report like, oh, Swift's good to go and he's going to be the main back, you got to play him. So if Swift's in, then I'd sit Davis and Godwin.
Okay. Is it time to stop playing CEH?
I don't think it's time. It really depends who you have, but certainly he's not what we thought. I mean, last week was just bad luck. We didn't get any reports that he was going to be inactive, and he's standing there on the sideline. So I don't know. That was tough for a lot of people. I don't have him in redraft leagues. I did want him. I just wasn't in a spot to get him. I either had like a top 5 pick, or by the time I picked 10, 11, and 12, he was gone. So I thought he was in a good spot this year. I don't think it's time to sit him, but it really also depends on what your options are. But he's not a top 12, 15 running back for this week, in my eyes, even though Miami is susceptible against the run.
How screwed am I having to start James White tonight?
I wouldn't say screwed.
No, that could actually end up well. Let's say the Rams get out to a lead, they have to throw, and James White gets a goal line carry. I mean, you could get lucky.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the ideal start, but, he could catch 5-6 passes, 60 yards. It's possible, and then that's double digits in a PPR. So you don't feel good about it. You just cross your fingers and hope the game script goes in your favor. That's all.
PPR need 1. T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, or Michael Pittman? Between Higgins and Lamb for me. I think I'd go Higgins.
You would go Higgins against that? We don't even know who the quarterback is. I would go
Lamb. It's your only other option. Would you go Pittman?
You can go. I mean, Pittman's get Vegas.
It's true.
I just wish they gave him the ball more.
Yeah.
I lean Pittman.
Okay. He says Pittman. PPR need 1. Akers, Godwin, T. Higgins, or Lamb?
Godwin.
Great.
He's fine. They took the pins out. He's good to go. He'll be good. I think he might not catch a ball until Friday or Saturday, but he'll be fine. If he played with the pins in his hands and he's going against
right.
Look, I think this Tampa Bay offense is going to finish with a flourish. Brady has struggled against the better defenses, but they have good matchups upcoming. They had to bye. They get Minnesota this week at home. This Tampa Bay offense is going to finish strong.
Need one. Marvin Jones, T. Higgins, or Hollywood Brown?
I'll go Marvin Jones. I think Detroit's going to have to throw a lot. And the one thing that I did see last week was Stafford take shots deep. And I know Bevel was there already. But, yeah, I'm going to go Marvin Jones.
I want to ask you about Marvin Jones and if Kenny Galladay plays, if that affects how you feel about Marvin Jones, and also how you feel about Jair Alexander being on him.
It's a concern, but again, I think they're going to throw a lot, and Stafford will take shots with them. I don't think Galladay plays. We might not see Galladay the rest of the year.
I think that's possible too. Flex PPR. It disappeared again. Okay, Allen or Watson?
Josh Allen or Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Yeah, I got Allen ranked higher. I know it's Pittsburgh, man, but I'm not worried. I mean, Josh Allen I know he's had some bad games this year, but they're home. We saw the Steelers have some injuries on the defensive side, too. They're really banged up. So I'm not worried about it. Like, I think Josh Allen's one of those quarterbacks that you just got to play every week. And he's got the rushing upside, too. I mean, I feel Deshaun Watson is kind of the same, too. But, you know, he's on the road. It's close, but I'm going to go Josh Allen. And both these guys are good. I mean, that's a nice combo to have.
Deshaun Watson, even with no receivers last week, had his third highest passing game of the year. It was like 341 yards or something stupid like that. I mean, he just plays and he's a playmaker. So not afraid to start Deshaun Watson, but Josh Allen just might be even just a little bit better right now.
I had those guys both ranked high last week. Yeah. I mean, I was never concerned with Watson. I said it, I think it was on a live stream with Bender. I said, until Watson proves me wrong, I'm going to continue to play him. I don't care who's out there. The guy's playing great, and he runs too.
Plus, there's this new receiver there named Chad Hansen. Oh. Check him out, ladies. Check him out. Okay, Tom Brady or Taysom Hill?
That's funny. I have that decision in my home league, but I'm on bye. And I was thinking,
about Chad Hansen?
No, I was not thinking that at all. I was thinking in my home league, if I were to play this week, what would I do? And I have Taysom one spot ahead of Brady. But if you want to play Brady, no problem. Because I could see I think Brady has a real good game this week against
Minnesota. I would play Brady.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I know Taysom's in a tougher spot on the road at Philly. Their defense isn't terrible. But we've just seen Taysom come through with the running. So it's close. I have Taysom one spot higher. But if the person asking wants Brady and was just looking for confirmation, go with Brady. No problem. Again, when guys are ranked one spot back to back, it's not a huge difference. Doesn't mean like, oh yeah, Taysom Hill major over Brady. What's that?
I would like to know who put the angry face on our Facebook feed. Are they angry because I don't like Baker Mayfield? Are they angry because I can't find the comments? But are they angry because they didn't make the playoffs? We want to channel this anger, but I don't like these little angry faces. Don't put the angry faces. Put the hearts and the thumbs up. That's what we want, please. Thank you. Mike Evans' injury worries me. Me too. Standard. We need 2 wide receivers and Chark, McLaurin, Debo.
Chark, McLaurin, or Debo? McLaurin's in. I expect him to bounce back. I can't believe that he was that bad. They didn't even look for him, which was crazy. And then I will go, this is close. Debo, I think, put in a limited practice today. I'll go Chark against Tennessee. I think there'll be points. Glenn is taking shots, yeah.
So I think there'll be points too, but my issue is every time Glennon tried to take a shot to Chark, they did not connect. They did not look good together if you watch the game, and that concerns me. So I'm a little concerned, and I'm sneaky sleeper looking at Colin Johnson because he and Glennon seems to be his safety net. I hope it's Chark, but no. I don't hope it's Chark this week. Next week, it needs to be Chark.
Yeah, I'm going to go
this week it needs to be Colin Johnson.
We'll go back to Chark. He's running a lot of routes. He's on the field, and Tennessee was just carved up by Cleveland last week.
You like him over Debo?
Slightly. It's close. I mean, I like Debo too. Although I don't know why it took until the fourth quarter for San Francisco to get the ball in his hands the other night.
I don't either, but Ayuk looked really good. How do you like Ayuk this week?
Yeah, I have him higher than Debo this week.
Better than Debo? I think I'm going to start him this week. I've got a lot of tough decisions. I'm going to have to like text you privately. Not that I can't do this for myself, but it's like this thing where you just want somebody, you guys know, you guys out there know. You're all smart, you know, but you just want that like stroke on the back that says that's the right thing to do. PPR need 2 and 1 flex. Akers, Sanders, Gaskin, Jacobs. Did we do this already?
I don't know. We might have, yeah. Well, Jacobs, you got to just play Akers and then make the decision on Sunday.
Yes. Favorite MVP for tonight on FanDuel?
I didn't even look at the salaries on FanDuel. Let me see if I can look real quick. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go with, you know, Woods, Kupp, Akers, Cam, one of those. I mean, again, I don't love Cam tonight, but you know, he could run 1 or 2 in.
He could. I'm gonna go over and check on Periscope, guys. On Periscope.
Cam's the most expensive? Oh boy, forget that.
Again, John, I see nothing on Periscope. So if you do, will you let me know? Okay, great. So who's your favorite sleeper tight end for this week if we're out doing a deep cut on the waiver wire?
Cole Kmet.
Yeah. So John and I spoke about Cole Kmet this week as well. He's also very affordable on FanDuel, but versus Houston, I think that could be good. And he's playing a lot more snaps than Jimmy Graham. Looks like Jimmy Graham's finally weaning.
Yeah, it looks like he surpassed him. I mean, Jordan Reed could still be out there. It's a revenge game for Jordan Reed. He did score a touchdown last week, and he is healthy. So, yeah, I mean, tight end, there's just not a ton out there at this point. And, let's not forget, Kyle Rudolph has not practiced 2 days in a row with a back issue, and Irv Smith is back practicing. So that could be a game with points. So maybe Irv Smith.
That's a good one. Lamar or Watson?
I think I had Lamar ranked higher. It's close. Yeah, I got Lamar 1 spot ahead. You know, he looked good last week. He ran. So Cleveland's defense doesn't scare me. So I'm going to go Lamar.
Okay. Would you start Lamar or Aaron Rodgers? I would start Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. He's my, was he ranked 3rd this week for me? I could make a case for him even 1 or 2 at Detroit. But yeah, Rodgers is the play.
Yeah, can we talk about Aaron Rodgers? I mean, for where you drafted Aaron Rodgers, is he probably the best value you got all year? I mean, how late was Aaron Rodgers being drafted?
Very late, and I was completely off him. I buried him in the rankings.
Everybody was.
I wanted no part of him because, again, I didn't see where the improvement was coming from. They didn't do anything to help his offense. They didn't. We all waited there in the draft like, oh, this is a class full of great wide receivers. Green Bay's got to take one, and they never did. So they came back with the same offense where he didn't produce last year. I just think the big difference this year is they've been more aggressive. He's throwing more. And I know because I was looking for an answer to figure out why this has changed. And everyone is saying, well, he's more motivated because they drafted a quarterback. But I can't attribute that for the complete turnaround. Maybe it's adjusting to the new coach, 2nd year with him. But we have seen, and this was the one concern with Aaron Jones, even though people still overvalued the touchdown regression or they pushed Jones down the draft board too far. They had about an equal amount of rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns last year. And you knew that would not continue, that they would pass more this year. And I think Aaron Rodgers now is going for that MVP, and that's why he's throwing so much at the goal line. But yeah, there were people who drafted him as a backup quarterback who probably didn't want him. They probably just said, it's Aaron Rodgers. I'll take him. But yeah, Rodgers is a guy that was a backup quarterback that now you've been plugging in as a starter every single week.
Yeah. So congrats to you guys that happened to get Aaron Rodgers, or for those of you who never lost faith, because
I could have used him on a lot of teams. I might have been in more playoffs if I had drafted Aaron Rodgers.
For real, right?
Yeah.
Cam Akers or Wayne Gallman?
That's tough. I do have Gallman ranked higher, but if you want to go Akers, I'm fine with it. But Gallman's been coming through every single week. And
I think it may be time to admit that Wayne Gallman is a good play.
Oh, I mean, I think we're past that. I mean, it's just every week now. He unfortunately didn't get the touchdowns last week. It was Alfred Morris, but Gallman's been good.
Yeah.
So probably lean towards Gallman.
Yeah, I think I would too. I think you can trust him more. I mean, even though they did let Alfred Morris get the goal line carry, I think that really it is Gallman's job. And,
Gallman he had a 60-yard run and they pulled him.
Right.
And sometimes the running backs go on a long run and they need a breather.
Right, exactly. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Okay, 1 point PPR. I need one flex. Cam Akers, Kiki Kuti, Tim Patrick, or Nelson Aguilar.
I'm going to go Akers there. And, again, even if he gets 10 carries, he could get the goal line carries. Last week he had 7 carries inside the 10. And I know he converted on 1, but I think that's because the Rams' play calling was easy to see. Sometimes they get too conservative and just run, and need to mix it up, especially when you have Woods, Kups, and those tight ends. But in this instance, I'm going to go Akers over those receivers who, Aguilar could give you 2 catches or 6 with a touchdown. You just don't know. I like Patrick. He's been good, but I'm going to go with Akers here.
Okay. And so I want to know, are you out on Kiki Kuti? What's your opinion on Kuti? I'm not feeling much Kiki Kuti love.
Him, but I'm not playing him over Cam Akers. I know he was really good last week, and I think he's a wide receiver 3.
Okay, so then who do you think is the wide receiver that Deshaun Watson's going to go to the most?
Cooks.
You think it's going to be Cooks?
Mm-hmm.
And you think Kiki Kuti will be number 2?
Yeah.
But we still trust Deshaun Watson. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about Kiki Kuti. That's why I'm asking you the questions. He has historically been very good versus Indy. My other problem with Kiki Kuti is he's constantly injured. And did he practice today? Because yesterday he was limited.
I did not see.
I don't know. May not have heard. But it is interesting because there's a lot of air yards to go around, and I thought they might use a little bit. I mean, they're not throwing that much to David Johnson or Duke Johnson, even though they could. They just simply don't use the run game. Second least rushing yards in the league. They just don't. So just feels like Kuti should be someone we can count on, though we haven't seen a lot. I get it. 141 yards last year was a little more than I thought we would get, and it was a bit encouraging and also incredibly confusing as to what to do going forward. Okay. So let me check over here on Periscope. We're good on Periscope. We are good. Okay. Here we go. I need 2 wide receivers and a flex. No, we did that. Okay. Give me a flex out of. Okay, no. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this question. Standard. Need 2 running backs and a Kamara, Gurley, Dobbins. That's where I'm confused. Just give me, I guess, pick 2 running backs out of Kamara, Gurley, Dobbins.
Oh, you're not playing Gurley. I don't see how you could have any confidence in Gurley right now. He doesn't look good. They used Ito Smith and Brian Hill. Gurley is someone you should try to avoid at all costs.
Okay, I agree. Need 2 wide receivers, Chark, McLaurin, and Debo.
Is this PPR standard?
Standard, sorry.
So Chark, McLaurin, and Debo. Definitely McLaurin, and I will go Chark.
So McLaurin and Chark. So we're sitting Debo, and I need 2 running backs: Kamara, Gurley, Dobbins. I guess this is the continuation. We said sit Gurley. Then we need a flex. So that leaves Debo or Gurley. We pick Debo.
Debo.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That was easy enough. And it looks like we're slowing down over here. All right, so Adam, playoff strategies. For those of you who are on a bye, are you already making moves for the week after next?
Oh, yeah, I think you can for sure. You assess your team. Obviously, you don't really have anything to do this week, but you are looking at next week, whether it's picking up a defense or maybe there's someone that you see that's has a good matchup next week that's on the waivers that you want to pick up. But yeah, you should definitely be looking ahead to next week if you're on a bye and see how the matchups are. Obviously, some more injuries could occur over the weekend that change things. But yeah, shouldn't be just sitting back and doing nothing. You should be looking ahead to next week and seeing if there's anything that you can do off the waiver wire to improve your team, or start, looking at your preliminary lineup. I mean, we're saying for this week, you still can't make final decisions to Sunday, but you can have an idea and just an original, just a preliminary sketch of what your team looks like next week.
Yeah. So two positions that a lot of people are streaming right now are defense and tight end. So as far as looking forward for the rest of the season through playoffs, are there some defenses that you have prioritized or some tight ends that you think would be worth picking up for the rest of the season?
Defensively, the Browns, they have the Giants and Jets in week 15, 16. So that was something I looked at weeks ago and picked them up in the GST. So next week you could look at, let's see, Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins defense is probably rostered already. I mean, Seattle's a good one. Their defense has played better. And they get the Jets this week, so they're probably rostered. They get Washington next week. The Rams have the Jets next week. So I would use the Rams defense tonight. I know people like, oh, it's the Patriots, but Cam can turn the ball over. I think the Rams defense is that good that I think you could even use them tonight. And Browns get the Giants next week. You'd rather have Daniel Jones in there because he's more susceptible to turnovers than Colt McCoy. The one thing about Colt McCoy is he's just going to be conservative, protect the football, not make mistakes. And that happens with some backups. And I think that's what the Giants are having Colt McCoy do. Don't do anything crazy. You'd actually rather have Daniel Jones in there because he takes chances and he'll turn it over. He'll fumble. He'll take sacks. So I think that bodes well for the Browns defense next week. Tight ends are a week-to-week proposition. It really is.
Yeah, but a couple tight ends that I think have schedules that are favorable are Eric Ebron. I don't think Jonnu Smith is available, but
someone might have dropped him because of his injury. I think there's a chance he comes back this week too.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you're playing him, right? If he's available.
He's not a must start every week just because we've seen that they have kind of not been having him run as many routes or throw to him. But the one good thing about him is he's a goal line threat. And when you're getting to the range of tight ends in the 12 to 20 range, you're really just banking on a touchdown. So he could become someone you look at. And they play Detroit in week 15.
Okay. Mike Davis or Myles Gaskin? Myles Gaskin. Damian Harris or David Johnson?
Don't love either, but I'll go David Johnson there.
I think you have to go David Johnson there too, just because he's going to get the volume. But that is tricky. Damian Harris, the more talented back, obviously. Taysom Hill or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson. Come on, let's not overreact to last week. It's
been a couple weeks.
I know that, but they're home against the Jets. If you can't play Russell Wilson this week home against the Jets, then what are we doing?
Can you play Russell Wilson? I know. PPR flex, I need one. CEH, Henderson, T. Higgins, or Hollywood Brown?
I think there you have to play CEH. He can score a touchdown. As I said, Miami's susceptible against the run. You got to forget about last week. I mean, again, that was just bad luck, the illness. He should be good to go, but the other guys you mentioned, they could give you nothing. I want to believe in Hollywood Brown, right? I mean, it's 2 weeks in a row he scored, and it was probably one of Lamar's best throws this year on the touchdown. And we know Cleveland's not great, but we could also see them, if they control the game, he doesn't get a lot of targets. Let's also not forget Mark Andrews didn't play in that game. He'll be back this week. Willie Snead was activated from the COVID-19. So, Brown's not short of guaranteed volume. So in that case, I'm going CEH, and you hope that, he finds the end zone.
Kenyon Drake or Cam Akers?
Drake popped up on the injury report today with a thigh issue. It's a tough matchup. He's very touchdown dependent. I would go Akers.
Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers?
I actually have Rivers higher. Love the matchup, and he's actually played well. So, yeah, I'm going Rivers.
Okay. I would go Matt Ryan here because I do think that's going to be a shootout, and Chargers have been generous to opposing quarterbacks. But I like them both, but I would go Matt Ryan. I want to ask your concern level about Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray's kind of put up a couple duds in a row after being like the leading quarterback and taking everyone this far. And it's frustrating. So what are you doing with Kyler Murray? Are you devaluing him? Do you think it's his shoulder? What do you think is going on?
Yeah, I don't know if it's his shoulder, but he clearly hasn't been running as much lately.
Mm-hmm.
I think Belichick was part of it when they lost to the Patriots. And again, I mean, look, they faced the Rams, very good defense. He still threw for 3 touchdowns. It wasn't terrible for fantasy.
Right.
He's been under 200 yards passing now, though, 2 straight games. And the more concerning part is, he's got 15 rushing yards in 2 of the last 3 games, and the attempts, 5 rushing attempts in each of the last 3 after 4 straight games of double digits. So that's really what's hurt him. Because I never thought he would. It's not like he's been a great passer this year anyway.
Right.
It's mostly, him scoring. He's got 10 rushing touchdowns, and he was just taking off. So that's really what's changed. He gets another tough matchup on the road against the Giants. In most instances, I'm playing him, but he is ranked lower than usual. I think I have him. Is it 9 at quarterback this week? Let me check. I have him at 8.
So let me give you some either ors. Would you start Kyler Murray or Ben Roethlisberger?
Kyler.
Would you start Kyler Murray or Taysom Hill?
Murray.
Would you start Kyler Murray or Justin Herbert?
Herbert.
Okay. Would you start Kyler Murray or Tom Brady?
I have Murray ranked higher, but I could see going Brady if people wanted to.
It's tricky. I mean, it's frustrating. Now, what if there was a penalty for incompletions? Would that change your answers?
It could, because his completion percentage is 67% this year. It hasn't been bad. Last week it wasn't good, but again, that's the Rams.
Yeah, last week it was bad. But
the Rams, Belichick. I mean, the Seattle game was probably more concerning because we expected better numbers. But again, it's the running. That's the thing, and the fact that he has just 15 carries the last 3 weeks is definitely eye-raising. And it, of course, it's the shoulder. He doesn't want to get hit, but he's still out there playing. So I don't know if that's completely it.
With the injury news on Drake, should I play it safe and roll with Edmonds over Akers?
No, I mean, we don't. Drake might play. We don't know. I'm just reporting to you what happened today. Yeah. It could be nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, if it's out and you have Edmonds, even though Edmonds did not perform to the level we wanted, that game Drake was out, I think that was the coaching staff being dumb. All season long, they get him involved in the passing game. And that game, they just slam him into the middle of the line. Like, what are you doing? But Kingsbury's not a good coach, and we've seen it.
Cam or Goff? Who should I start? I say Goff.
I say neither, but for real, like if you can, I don't know what's on waivers, but
I understand.
I'd start Jalen Hurts over them, Trubisky, Dalton, Stafford, Ryan, Cousins. So if you can go to the waiver wire, get someone. If not,
so what if this is a DFS question?
Oh, DFS?
It might be.
I gotta go Cam a little higher just because of his rushing.
Okay, rushing. Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Akers?
I have CEH ranked slightly higher, but if you want to go Akers, I have no problem with it. Again, it's not the talent on Akers. I just don't know what Sean McVay is going to do. Everyone's assuming because he got 21 carries this week that, here we go. But you got to remember Darrell Henderson got hurt in that game. He did come back. It's also a short week. So Henderson didn't get a lot of work. So McVay might be like, all right, the rookie had a big workload. I don't want to. A couple days later against New England, I don't want to overwhelm him. So Henderson's a little fresh since he didn't do much on Sunday. I'm going to mix it up and let them split. It's certainly possible. We all want Akers to be the guy. We all see that Akers is better. That doesn't mean McVay's going to do it. So that's my main concern. I want to play Akers with full confidence, but there's something that tells me that and look, I hope I'm wrong for all those that are playing Akers. And I have Akers in a lot of spots, even though I'm not using him. Although, I am using him in one league, but it's stupid toilet bowl. So,
if you had to pick between playing Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers in your flex, who would you choose?
I'll go Kupp.
You would go Kupp.
Yeah. Okay. I know Kupp is going to be involved in the offense, and he's got the better matchup in the slot.
Yeah, it's true. He has a good matchup in
We
this
saw
spot.
that game, a couple weeks ago? Cooper Kupp got 100 catches in the first quarter?
Yeah. 100 catches?
In the first quarter, yeah. Remember
In the
that drive?
first
They
quarter.
just kept every play.
100 catches.
Come on, man.
That was a
Show
lot
my
of
love
points.
my man Robert Woods.
Yeah, but wasn't that the same game that Robert Woods saw like 100 catches in?
Woods, I think, finished with the better game. Like they
I
started going.
think that was the game that I actually had the biggest comeback in GST, and it was ridiculous. I mean, I had like a 6% chance of winning, and then Robert Woods gave me this beautiful Monday night gift. I love you, Robert Woods. I hope you do it again for me tonight. All right, guys, that about wraps it up. Do you not think the Rams D will stop Cam? Yeah, I do. I think they're going to be tough on Cam. They're tough. They're tough. I think they will be tough. Yeah, I think that will about do it. We're going to wrap it up and let you guys go set your playoff lineups, your DFS lineups, your FanDuel lineups. Enjoy the Thursday night football. Adam, any final parting words of advice for this first lineup we're setting going into the playoffs of 2020?
Nah, just, don't stress it out. Remember, have time. If you don't have anyone involved in tonight's game, we have several days. We're going to be here all weekend. You got the live stream Sunday morning. So just relax. Don't put pressure on yourself. It's no different than any other week.
Yes. If you didn't get your question, well, a little different, but imagine that it's not, so you don't stress yourself out. I've been doing a lot of meditating upon my waiver wire claims.
It helps.
Actually, I totally empty your mind and try to think about nothing.
I can't empty my mind. I've tried. I just can't.
I know. It's just you're so smart, Adam.
A lot of stuff.
Is that what we call it? Stuff?
Yeah. A lot of knowledge, wisdom, and pictures in my head.
Pictures. Memories or future images?
Future images.
Oh, well, I'll let Ashanti know. She's living rent-free in your head.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. We will be here Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Howard Bender and I will take your final start-sit questions. We'll check all the injury news, the weather, all those things you need to know. In the meantime, enjoy the Thursday night football, and we'll catch you next time.